3-2 scoreline thanks to a very special goal by Cairns-born Nick Panetta in stoppage time. And the Knights, despite the travel, well, they will start the hot favourites tonight. Let's have a look at the teams. Edge Hill United are led by their player coach Chris O'Hare, who scored 29 goals in just 15 games in the league. His assistant is his strike partner Josh Taylor. Watch out for the long throws of Liam Cashmere and the aerial prowess of Ryan Murray. That combination, one that could cause issues for the Knights. In amongst the 11, electricians, plumbers, youth work, dual engineer in the shape of Peruvian Oscar Rodriguez Zabalos. Aaron Ball unavailable because he's at a wedding on the Gold Coast. Regular left back Matthew Schmidt, so Jaden Walker switches familiar name to A-League fans. Czech-born Marek Stollery, the trio. Our referee tonight is Alex King, one of 4 on the full-time list in the A-League, but it was the FFA Cup that of course set him on his way in 2014 when he took charge of Olympic versus the Melbourne Knights in the round of for Edge Hill United. Founded in 1967, very strong club in the local leagues. But this is a different level altogether, and their captain is Josh Denitis, wearing number 9. Who's a big fan of Liverpool and Melbourne Victory, I'm told, in the A-League, known as Jidda. And the two captains seeing where the coin will land. Daniel McBreen has the same chance of a cup set or not?
Well, we hope so, Simon. This is the reason we love this competition. Gives the smaller teams the opportunity to come up against and hopefully knock off these bigger teams. It'll be interesting to see how they approach it tonight. You know, they're very dominant team in their area, some very big wins this season, and I think, as you said, this will be a different proposition. Will they really take it to Gold Coast, or will they sit back, try and soak up the pressure and counter-attack? It'll be interesting to see how they go ahead with that.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's going to be slightly yet to concede. Let's see if Edge Hill United can put Josh Langdon under a bit of pressure, or whether the class of the higher-ranked team will tell. There's bound to be a few nerves, no matter how successful this team has been at local level. The Tigers of Edge Hill, good gallery on hand at Barlow Park in Cairns. Pleasant temperatures, 23 degrees. And it's a good pitch, you've told me, Daniel, as well. You've played on this up in Cairns.
Yep, played up there a couple of years ago. Fantastic stadium and pitch.
And he scored. So we're underway. The biggest night in Edge Hill's history. A suburb of Cairns with a population of just under 4,000 residents, shooting for a place in the last 16 of Australian football's premier knockout competition. Already an error from Roman Hoffman in that perhaps rather unfamiliar right-back role, but they will launch it long, looking for Marek Mardley, the Czech-born striker. Edge Hill able to deal with that one. This is Chris O'Hare, their player coach. Oldest player in the team. That's 34. And did play as a professional in England when he was a junior with Halifax Town. Actually played under Chris Wilder, former coach of Sheffield United, and then went on to play in Northern Ireland for clubs such as Larne and Glenavon and Carrick Rangers. So there's a little bit of experience in the Edge Hill ranks.
Yeah, I think he'll be trying to keep his team calm, trying to calm the nerves, tell them to try and get a touch on the ball early and really just settle into the game. Try and keep Gold Coast away from their box early just to get that rhythm, that little bit of tension out of their body, and then they can really sort of get that groove going.
Here is Hoffman, Mitch Nichols, 5 times capped Socceroo. A lot of Gold Coast Knights play will go through him. Curtis Stollery losing out. Murray Isman involved, wearing number 5. He's a doctor by day.
Interesting to see how much Mitch Nichols controls this game. We all know what he has done in the past. Exceptional player. I'm sure he'll be looking to get on the ball and really control the tempo of this game.
Real up and under from Junya Yabe, the Japanese import for Gold Coast Knights. This is Ryan Murray, who will put his boot through it and says to Josh Taylor, you have a run after that one. Yabe there ahead of him.
More a case of get that ball away from our end, and we'll get up there and try and get some pressure on the other end.
And this is a chance for them because, as I mentioned, these long throws of Liam Cashmere, and watch out for Ryan Murray to come forward. They're not going to take a long one now, are they? Of course, there's the commentator's curse. But they will do that at some point throughout the game. And this is the Georgian, David Tadze, who dug the ball out well, and they'll sling it across, but no particular danger for Josh Langdon, and goal for the Knights. But the home gallery encouraged.
Yeah, it's good positive play. Nice combination out wide, bodies into the box and try and get that ball in. Unfortunately, the cross didn't quite meet its mark, but it's a good positive start.
What's the mentality of the senior club going to places like this in a cup competition? Because you know, really, you're on a hiding to nothing, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you just hope that complacency doesn't set in. You really have to make sure that everyone's switched on and remember that, you know, the result isn't just going to happen. You have to go and earn the result. And you always know that the smaller team is going to be stepping up to play. This is a grand final for them in essence, so they're going to be up for the game, and really just have to keep everyone switched on and in tune.
Here's Curtis Stollery, scorer of 6 goals in the NPL Queensland League season. Actually left their second top goal scorer, Kai Tipaldo, on the bench tonight. Here's a chance perhaps from long range. Stollery had a lash at it, and it's spooned back towards the byline. Harry Isman to clear for Edgehill, only as far as Mitch Nichols, who gets his head up and tries to look towards the back post, where he could only find Ryan Murray, who's happy enough to put it behind for a corner.
We can see the Knights already starting to get that possession just around 20-30 metres outside of the box. Look to move that ball around, find the spaces. And when you've got a guy like Mitch Nichols who can find a pass, there's always going to be a danger.
That's Michael Falchetti, who sits on the bench. He's actually the club president. And of course, Chris O'Hare's on the pitch, the actual coach. So he's an extra pair of eyes. Michael Falchetti on the sideline. Here's Nichols again. Ferries it out towards Austin Ludwig. Jaden Walker and then Jason McQuarsie. Fetched in field for Nichols and then moved out quite smoothly towards Roman Hoffman on the right. And then really poor touch in the end by Curtis Stollery. Relieves the pressure on Edgehill. Yeah,
you could hear the Edgehill midfield telling their strikers, well, don't go out. Let's sit back. Let's make it nice and tight, a block. Keep them either going wide or around it. They have to go around us. Forced an error.
Max Ragg, you just got a glimpse of on the sidelines. He's the interim coach at the moment of the Knights. Scott McDonald is going to take over next season. Former Socceroo, of course. Max Ragg holding the fort. He's another one with good professional experience. He was an apprentice player at Sheffield Wednesday and up until a couple of seasons ago, assistant coach at Oldham Athletic under Frankie Bunn. Before the pair were dismissed, McQuarsie into the box. Swept away by Jaden Peterson-Cashmere. The two Cashmere brothers at the heart of the Edgehill defence. Josh Langdon encouraged to come for that one, which ultimately he did. Saw Brisbane Roar defeat Peninsula Power in another Queensland derby 24 hours ago, quite comfortably by 3-0. As McQuarsie gets on his bike and puts in a rather tame cross, which Josh Denitis will deal with. Gold Coast Knights throw off David Tadze. Of course, heavily COVID affected this year's FFA Cup, and the game split into zones. This is Zone 2 North in Queensland. That's just beyond Stollery.
That's a nice run from Stollery from outside in. Just a little bit overhit. But you can see the intention is to try and drag his defender wide and make those darting runs inside.
And if you are new to the FFA Cup, 744 clubs around the country set out on the journey through the qualifiers to reach this round of 32 proper, where the semi-pro clubs have the opportunity to mix it with the big boys, the professionals from the A-League. And that really, Macca, is what makes the Cup so magic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I remember I was overseas when it was announced that the competition was going to start in Australia, and straight away I was online trying to watch the games. It just creates such an interest around this David versus Goliath games, this magic of the Cup, where you could overtake a big club that's expected to roll into town and beat you, and we love seeing that, and we love to always go for that underdog and give them that opportunity. So that's why it's such a fantastic competition. So many teams around Australia with that chance. Not very often you get that chance to play against a professional team and really have that opportunity to beat them.
You can keep up with all the news from the magic of the Cup on the official website, the FFAcup.com.au, where all the fixtures are going to be played and when, and of course where they're going to be broadcast here on 10. Sliding in, Ari Isman. Actually represented Australia in the Maccabea Games a few years ago. Ari Isman. Oh, that's a poor ball from Ludwig. Opened the door momentarily for David Tadze. And those are the sort of opportunities that Edgehill need to capitalise upon, because they might not get too many.
They do. There's been a couple of mistakes by Gold Coast so far, a few errant passes, and it gives a little bit of hope to Edgehill that it can snatch something there and really counter. I think they're trying to stifle Gold Coast with their defensive play and then counter-attack, as we see here, the long ball. Definitely a ploy when you're playing against a team that, on paper, really outweighs you, to really stifle them, close the space down, don't let them have any free ball around your area, and really go at pace when you do win that ball. Hope for an error, really capitalise.
Junior Yabe finding Jason McQuarrie in a little bit of space. The step over from the Colombian. Very talented, tricky player, and certainly knows the way to goal as well. He is the Knights' top scorer this season with 13. Been around the NPL Queensland for quite a few years now, and consistently among the goal scorers wherever he goes. Here he is on the ball again. Played professionally in the lower leagues of Colombia. Square by Nichols. On towards Hoffman. Touch back for Max Brown. Gold Coast Knights just building patiently and trying to let the ball do the work. Move Edgehill around. This will be tiring work for the team from Cairns. Hoffman. Square by Brown. Yabe. And it goes for Jaden Walker. Back inside for Mardley, who was dropping a bit deeper to get feel of the ball. Ludwig trying to thread the needle. That's a good ball for Stollery. Good sliding challenge as well. Potentially a goal-saving one for Edgehill. Mitch Nichols decides to have a pop from long range. Maybe just a little bit frustrated that all that good approach play has not really led to any pressure on Kevin Ward's goal. And they are going to get a corner because it took a nick on the way through.
Yeah, and that can be the problem when you move the ball around. You don't make any penetrating passes forward. Frustration can settle in, and it becomes a real problem, a mental problem in the game. So they have to make sure they stay focused, keep moving that ball, probing, trying to break down the defence.
Hoffman angles it back to the top of the area. And we'll get the return. He's got time here. Loops up in the air off the Edgehill defender. Stollery first to react. Oh, heavy touch, and again might just open the door for Edgehill. They're desperate to try and break. They've got more defending to do here. Across the face, looking for McQuarrie. Can he find the angle? He did in the end, but unfortunately for Gold Coast Knights, not the back of the net.
Well, it was actually desperate defending from the Edgehill defence there. Outnumbered as the ball came back in the box, but throw the bodies in front of the shot. Did enough pressure to force the error. Ball goes wide.
Well, they've survived 12 minutes. And Kevin Ward yet to be really tested. You tested him a few years ago. You scored against him in an FFA Cup tie.
You're flattering me now, Simon.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
3-0 win for the Edgeworth Eagles against Far North Queensland Heat. This is good skill by Josh Taylor, looking for his partner in crime, Chris O'Hare's, who's still in the box if they can pick him out. Not quite for the player coach.
We saw O'Hare there in the box all alone, 3 defenders around him. It's going to be difficult to get balls in for him to win them. Do we get that ball forward, Edgehill, they need to commit bodies forward, get bodies around Chris O'Hare and support him in the box.
Nick Panetta, scorer of that brilliant stoppage time goal against Peninsula Power in the big MPL Queensland clash at the weekend. Stollery just shifted it to create the angle, and McQuarrie again, that's 2 half chances he's had. Didn't quite get over the top of that one.
No, and Stollery has been a bit of a nuisance down this right-hand side, trying to make runs inside, now taking the ball outside. Gold Coast could do well to maybe try to isolate him and get him to run at the defenders. Looks like he's willing.
Upfielder goes off the boot of Kevin Ward, helped on by Jesse Casson, but nobody in yellow there for the Tigers of Edgehill. Nichols all a bit tight in there for Mardley. Ludwig. Junior Yabe, who played in the top university league in Japan before arriving in Australia in 2018. First for the Wynnum Wolves and then the Ipswich Knights, Gold Coast United, and ultimately ending up at the Knights. A delivery driver by day. And he delivers a short pass there for his teammate Jaden Walker. Touch casual from Ludwig. Nichols with plenty of room to advance into. Walker looking to float it towards Stollery, but just overhit. And Edgehill United survive another raid.
Yeah, they've done quite well defensively, Edgehill. They don't let the ball come through the middle, forcing Mitch Nichols in particular to play the ball wide. Been quite solid, forcing Gold Coast to cross from areas that's probably not in their favour to win the cross.
Kevin Ward, who works in real estate during the day with the goal kick. Good stretch by Ludwig. Knights perhaps claiming that he was impeded as he went to make that clearance. Ball came off Josh Taylor. Oh, Nichols, bad mistake. Could open the door here for Edgehill. He does atone and draws the foul, but at times the Knights just a touch too casual.
They are maybe a little bit of a hangover from the game on the weekend. Such a big high. Great result with a 93rd minute win against Peninsula Power, who were top of the league. The trip up, maybe just a little bit of weariness in there. A few errant passes. Mitch Nichols is not one that we'd expect to see that as well. So let's maybe give a little bit of hope to Edgehill that they could snatch something.
David Tadzik. I spoke to the club this week. They said, he told us he once played for Spartak Moscow, but we can't find any evidence. Maybe it was the junior team not casting aspersions against him. Who knows? He's been in Australia for a decade. Georgian born, and I reckon the best dribbler in the local competition. That's on the pitch.
I was going to ask for clarification on that one. Been known to be called that myself, so I'm with him. You can see Gold Coast here, they're just knocking the ball around, not really trying to make any incisive passes. It's all a bit casual. Edge Hill defensively quite solid. You need to see Mitch Nichols get on the ball a little bit more and look to play forward rather than sideways and backwards.
Yeah, their shape has been pretty good so far, Edge Hill, but I guess as it goes on and the longer they're out of possession, the more the legs will tire.
Undoubtedly.
Here's Yabe. Walker, more naturally the right fullback, but playing on the left today. Makwasi. Again, the step overs to try and find the angle for the cross, which he does. Steered away though. Back it'll come through Hoffman. It's going to be another corner off Ryan Murray.
As you say, Simon, the defence a little bit deeper that occasion. The cross from a better area, a little bit more dangerous.
See what Roman Hoffman could do with the latest corner. Short for Nichols. He'll drive it towards that back post and just wide of that right-hand upright by Marek Mardley.
It was a good ball in from Nichols. Just that teasing ball away from the keeper around to the back post. Mardley just couldn't get it on target. Made a great run around the back.
Marek Mardley was part of the Peninsula Power team that won the premiership in NPL Queensland last year, but has made the switch to the Knights. Scored against his old club at the weekend. That 3-2 win. Three sort of half chances for the Knights. But Edge Hill done fairly well, given the gulf in status of the two clubs.
I still get to see one of these long throws, Simon.
I've given it the big build-up. He better do them. I'm sure he will, Liam Cashmere. Maybe he wants to save some energy, not get that far off field, because he knows he's got to defend most of the game.
I just feel if you have a weapon like that, and once you get into that front third, you really need to take advantage of it. You take any opportunity you can against stiffer opposition, and that is a great weapon to have.
Nichols punches it out towards Stollery, who was backpedaling but still found his captain, Hoffman. Nichols further advanced. Square by Hoffman, Stollery. Oh dear. Got the boots on the wrong way.
Well, I see you got a bad bobble on that one. See, he was trying to use the outside of the foot to bend it out to the far side. It just took a little bobble and cannoned off his foot. There's the throw.
There we go. Not much use it's done, Edge Hill, but gives you an idea of just how long he can launch it. It's Rory Delap territory.
It is not as low and flat, but could certainly cause danger in that front third, getting the ball into the box.
Hoffman again, seen a lot of the ball in these opening stages. Floated out towards Walker. Makwasi. Appeal for hands. Alex King not interested. Again, the early ball forward. Edge Hill just trying to catch the Knights unawares. Makwasi looking to attack Murray. Again, it's a disappointing end to a promising situation for the Knights.
Yeah, Makwasi's got into a couple of 1v1 situations down that left-hand side and has shown the willingness to take players on, but final delivery just a little too hard on each occasion. It would be encouraging him, though, to continue to attack the players, to get them on the back foot and get those balls into the box.
Still quite content for the Knights to have the ball in these sorts of areas. They're pretty well set defensively. Just Josh Taylor in advance of most of them. And they've come with a plan, and so far it's working. Daniel McBreen, we're midway through the first half.
Yeah, and we spoke about, over time, your energy levels when you don't have the ball. But to be fair, they're not moving too far. They're just shuffling as a group, forcing Gold Coast backwards and sidewards.
Ludwig. It's a clever ball out towards Panetta, who fires it into the side netting.
Gold Coast finally found a ball on the inside. Done that twice now, one with the little flick that almost came to a shot with a last-ditch challenge, and here again a little ball on the inside, then a ball to drag the defender in, played out wide, cross again, just off its mark.
Nick Panetta, who just had that shot into the side netting. You might remember him from Under-17 World Cup, playing for the Joeys in 2015. He scored both goals in a 2-1 win against Argentina. Hasn't yet been able to push on into the professional ranks, but still time perhaps. Big shout for handball that time. And again, Alex King waves it away.
Just getting back to Panetta, we saw his talent on the weekend with that 93rd minute strike from about 25 yards to win the game. So he's got some real quality in there.
Kwasi facing the wrong way, only briefly. Gets the return from Panetta. Handed away by Peterson Cashmere, the brother of his central defensive partner Liam. Although only Jaden uses the double barrel surname. Maybe it's to prevent any confusion. Oh, now missed time challenge, to say the very least. Jesse Casson and Junior Yabe in a contest for the ball. And both are in a bit of discomfort because of it. Chris O'Hare first across to Alex King and say, well, how about a card there?
It was one of those occasions that a sloppy pass again, ball breaks free. Yabe realised he needed to make the challenge. Don't think a yellow card would suffice. I think Alex King got that right there.
There's an opportunity potentially for Edge Hill. Could they steal a shot lead? Manoeuvred for the cross. And they do get a shot on target in the end. It's a rather tame one from Ari Isman, but at least Josh Langdon forced into some work.
That was nice work from Edge Hill. A couple of little twists and turns out wide. A sloppy cross into the box, but the clearance also sloppy. Ari Isman, see what he was trying to do. He wanted to pass, bend it into that corner, but couldn't quite get a hold of it.
You could hear other home fans were encouraged by that. I know those sorts of opportunities might not come around too often tonight. This is Walker. Touch short for Makwasi. He made it into a good ball though. Panetta. Oh, it's great skill initially before Liam Cashmere said enough. Hoffman. Stollery. And Nichols under pressure, which meant he lost a fair bit of control. Edge will work it up to Josh Taylor. That's better football, and now they've got a chance maybe to release Isman. Not quite. They're going to get a throw here though.
A little bit more promising there from Edge Hill. Taylor has been really on his own, isolated up top. We saw O'Hare just go up and join him. Little front two, give this team something to bounce up and play from.
And Yisman to take the throw. He's had Edgehill's best, well, let's be honest, only opportunity so far. Slight delay whilst we get rid of the second ball on the pitch. Josh Taylor, good use of strength to get around Hoffman. And the cutback wasn't too far away, was it? Austin Ludwig really had to stretch.
And he really had to get that. Hare was moving in behind, looking to get a shot off.
Early ball forward, looking to catch Edgehill. Short on numbers. Challenged by Denitis, the captain, just to hold the Knights up for the moment. Makwasi. Back through Panetta and square for Nichols. And now everybody's back for Edgehill.
We saw how quickly Edgehill got back there into their block. Good defensive unit. There's an opportunity for Gold Coast probably to go quickly, but snuffed out very quickly by the defence getting back so well.
A team that trains only 2 nights a week, and given the various jobs that they do in the Cairns region. Chris O'Hare told me they quite often only have 7 or 8 players at training, which is tough to prepare for a game of this magnitude, but they've done really well so far. Like handball by Junior Yabe. Yep, Alex King agrees.
There's great pressure from David Atse.
These are the sort of chances that really got to try and make pay, haven't they? It's Michael Falchetti. Our coach for the Knights, against the Knights. The regular coach, Chris O'Hare, is about to take the free kick towards that back post where Ryan Murray was waiting and got on the end of it, but only into the gloves of Josh Langdon.
And this is an opportunity where you'd expect Gold Coast to go quickly. Edgehill not setting their defence, stretched.
The transition could be key for them, and they found a way through. Curtis Story on the right, danger brewing for Edgehill, across the face, and sliding in was Mardley, and he just couldn't get the touch. In fact, it was Max Brown. My apologies to him. But he strained every sinew to try and get a touch that would have surely resulted in a goal.
He did, and that's the danger for Edgehill. We talk about how well they've sat in their block. They've really stifled Gold Coast. When they go forward, the transition, the quick break, for them to get back, it's where they have to be careful when how many they send forward. Well, these opportunities could happen for Gold Coast, and it was a wonderful ball in. The striker can't ask for any more than that, just couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Half an hour gone in Northern Queensland, still no goals. It's an infringement by Panetta, just a touch over physical on Kashmir. Taylor got back in position and won the ball back, and now he's won the free kick off Austin Ludwig, and this is an even better field position for Edgehill.
And he's done well, Taylor. Real nuisance using his body. Winning the foul, getting his body across the play. As you say, Simon, this is a fantastic opportunity to get that ball in across the 6-yard line.
They've not committed too many numbers forward.
Bit wary from the last one.
Yeah. Just 4 in the box. There are plenty of Gold Coast defenders back there. Josh Langdon on red alert. Chris O'Hare to take. Towards the back post. And goalkeeper didn't really know whether to stay on his line or come for it. He was helped out by his defenders. Josh Langdon, who spent a year with Perth Glory in the Y League, training with the likes of Liam Reddy and Tando Valapi.
It was a delivery that was really difficult for goalkeepers in that zone, just the danger zone, just around the 6-yard area.
Bit of push and shove that Alex King has to sort out. For Ashley Beecham, the referee's assistant on that far side, is happy to let Chris O'Hare continue. And towards the near post, only partly away by Mardley. That's a big chance for Ryan Murray. And he spooned it high over the bar. What an opportunity.
A great opportunity. There's another lovely ball in. Again, only partially cleared, and as the ball came back to Murray, you thought he was just going to poke the ball in. Probably the bounce just came a little bit too high for him to get his foot over it as he poked for it, sailing over the bar. But again, a little glimmer of hope there for Edge Hill. Get a bit of confidence. A couple of opportunities now down in that Gold Coast penalty box.
Ryan Murray was the hero in the last round. Two-headed goals against Magpies Crusaders United. But he couldn't convert that opportunity from Chris O'Hare's corner. A bit of a let-off for the Knights. Nichols blatantly body-checked by his opposite number. Oscar Rodriguez Zabalos, the Peruvian.
And that's what you'd like to see from Mitch Nichols, looking to play the ball around the corner and drive in to support the play, looking to create something centrally. This time gets the free kick in a dangerous area.
Hoffman and Nichols debating matters. It's going to be Roman Hoffman to go towards that back post. And again, it doesn't quite work out for the Gold Coast Knights.
Yeah, Casson there did wonderfully well, just used his body. Just got enough of his body across the play to stop the attacker getting to the ball. Shielded the play out.
Kevin Ward in no particular hurry. And a couple of trials for A-League outfits back in the day. Brisbane Roar, Central Coast Mariners. Launches it upfield and Casson underneath it. Calmed down by Yabe. This is Ludwig. Steps clear with ease of Chris O'Hare. Yabe. Jaden Walker. Gets it back off Mardley. Ludwig. Hoffman. Nichols. Again, patient build-up by the Knights. Still Nichols. Makwasi on the right this time. That should be easy enough for Kevin Ward. Thought for a moment he was going to carry it back over his own goal line.
And once again, we see Mitch Nichols getting on the ball, looking to penetrate in that middle area.
Oh, now Ward's clearance has been charged down by Mardley, which could present a problem. Tied it up for now by Davidadze. Another stray ball from the Gold Coast Knights. Here's Chris O'Hare's going to have a go here. Well, why not? Any sort of a sight of goal, and they've got to have a dig, and he did. Well, you think he was a bit greedy there?
I think he was a little greedy there, but maybe it was a case of he didn't think he had enough support and maybe didn't have the legs with the numbers in front of him, so he'd have a crack. Won't begrudge that.
Meantime, Stollery has lost out. He and Makwasi have just exchanged flanks for the time being, just to try and mix things up a little bit. Of course, we make great play of Edgehill being the minnows, and they are. There's that long throw again. It's easy to remember, or forget, I should say, that Gold Coast Knights were in the Gold Coast Premier League as recently as 2015. Had a real meteoric rise, culminating in that championship win in 2019. Appearance in the round of 32 of the FFA Cup the year before that, and they lost 1-0 to the Jets. looking to go into uncharted territory tonight. Nichols having his jersey held. Makwasi. Hoffman on the overlap. Used as a decoy. Again, Edgehill scramble well. Nichols, this could be the chance. Oh, and Stollery has glanced his header wide. Maybe the goalkeeper just did enough, Daniel McBreen.
Well, Ward came flying out and he was actually caught in no man's land. And Stollery, all he had to do was just get a little bit more on that. He's just glanced it a little too little. And it's gone wide. I think if he had his time again, he'd love to just get a little bit more composure. As I said, Ward was racing out, and you do see that out the corner of your eye sometimes, and we know keepers like to get the punch on the ball, and it could come to you, but that was a really glorious opportunity to open the scoring. It was a lovely ball in, lovely weighted.
Mitch Nichols, the architect again. He was underneath that clearance from Ward as well, chesting the ball down. Here is the former Socceroo on the ball. Towards the back post. Oh, they're building this well. Makwasi, he should have scored again. Edgehill survived, but for how long? Back with Nichols. Square it goes for Walker. And it's heavy off the boot of Stollery, and they've survived another one. That really should have been 1-0.
Somehow, I still don't know how. And again, Mitch Nichols with the ball into the box, a lovely headed back across from Makwasi, just to tap it into almost an empty net. And he just totally mishit it.
Well, the chances starting to rack up now for the Knights.
They are, Simon, and I'm actually in disbelief. I was trying to work out how that still hasn't gone in. It was a wonderfully worked move. Just needed the finish.
Just over 5 minutes of the first half to go. And I guess that will be the message from Chris O'Hare on the pitch. Let's just keep this at 0-0 until we get it at half-time, get the chance for a bit of a breather.
Yeah, and we spoke about how well Edgehill, when they've sat in, have stifled Gold Coast. I think, it's been a tactic that's worked for them, but they're starting to get a little bit more joy, Gold Coast, in between the lines now. Maybe the fatigue starting to set in. A lot of work without the ball.
Mardley getting the better of Taylor. Hope you're enjoying our cup coverage on 10 play. Next game in this zone is the Lions against Casuarina, also from the north of the state, on the 21st of September. You'll see that on this channel as well, as Nichols floats another one into dangerous territory, and again Stollery can't do anything with it. Now Ryan Murray getting the motors running down the right. 29-year-old from Dorset in the south of England, who played semi-pro for the likes of Wimborne Town and Dorchester. Actually came to Australia on holiday and never went back. Easy gather this time for Ward.
Starting to see Stollery get a little bit more involved in the game down that left. He looks like the danger man. Mitch Nichols has found him a couple of times now, and he's just starting to get those balls into the box as well. Just need that finish for Gold Coast. Edgehill living on a knife edge.
Not just FFA Cup action, of course. We've got on 10, we've got the Matildas, who are back in action against Ireland next week. Wednesday morning, 3:30. Here's a chance. Again, it's spooned way over the top, this time by Chris O'Hare. Just to recap, you can see that friendly international between Ireland and the Matildas, who went so close, of course, to a medal in the Tokyo Olympics. That's next Wednesday, live on 10, 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Set your alarm clocks. Isn't it great to have the football back?
Simon, I'm loving it. there's been so much football cancelled across Australia and the world these last 2 years. It's been fantastic to see the FFA Cup return last night and tonight.
Edgehill United from the 5th tier of football in Australia, 2.5 minutes away from going in level at the break against the Gold Coast Knights from the NPL Queensland. Here's Max Brown. Nicely angled out towards Hoffman on the right. Nichols has really been the conductor for the Knights. So far they haven't found a way through. Panetta trying to dig it out. Brown as well. Edgehill get bodies in the way. Run down by Josh Taylor. Now can he pick out a teammate? He can. Here's a chance. Chris O'Hare. He's around the outside. Oh, what a chance for Edgehill. And their player coach, Chris O'Hare, knows that really should have worked Josh Langdon at the very least there. What a chance.
You can see he knows it. Fantastic build-up play from Taylor to find him. A lovely little shimmy to bring it back onto his left foot. You thought he might have hit it hard and low across the keeper. Just couldn't quite get a hold of it the way he would have liked. And that was a glorious opportunity just before half-time.
At the other end, Nick Panetta trying to weave his way through. And Kevin Ward drops gratefully on the ball. Cracking end to this opening period.
It's really livened up this last 5 or 10 minutes. Both teams with great opportunities.
Kevin Ward high and deep into the North Queensland evening. Crunching challenge from Ryan Murray. He thinks there wasn't much in it. He'd do well to get away from the scene of the crime, which is what Dabatadze is instructing him to do. Another look at it. It's a strong challenge.
I think he's got a case. Did win the ball, but came through strongly. Maybe Alex King just thought a little bit too reckless.
Curtis Stollery sucking in the big ones.
He's had a good game, Stollery, so far. Probably just hasn't got the end product. Put one on the plate earlier for Max Racy, but should have been finished.
Well, we're into first half stoppage time at Barlow Park, and still no goals, and casual again by Gold Coast Knights. They're grateful to Austin Ludwig, who got back goal side, and that will be half time. Well, a terrific end to that opening stanza. Chances at both ends. One for Jason McQuarrie in particular. Prior to that, Curtis Stollery glancing ahead and wide. Gold Coast have had the majority of the chances, but that moment for Chris O'Hare just before the break gives the home fans a lot of encouragement as they go into the dressing rooms for half time. At the break, it's Edgehill United 0, Gold Coast Knights 0. Back shortly.
Just a reminder, spectators must not enter or attempt to enter the field of play or playing area without lawful authority. Any person who does not comply with this spectator code of behaviour or who otherwise causes a disturbance may be evicted from the venue and may be banned from attending future matches.
And welcome back to 10 Play's coverage of the FFA Cup. This round of 32 ties, still goalless between Edge Hill United and the Gold Coast Knights. As you can see, we've just got back underway at the outset of the second half, and it was a very entertaining end to the first half, and we're going to have an entertaining start to the second. The shot by Brown is parried away by Kevin Ward at the near post, and Gold Coast Knights, Daniel McBreen, going for the jugular right from the kickoff.
Yeah, exactly what Edge Hill didn't want. An errant pass straight away. A lovely strike, good save down, Ward down to his right. They need to regroup now.
Here's their player coach, Chris O'Hare, who had that golden chance just before the break. But overall, I mean, he'll be delighted with the fact that his team is still level against a team that's several notches above them in terms of the rankings and the league systems.
Yeah, definitely. I think he would have been encouraging in his halftime talk. So defensively, they were quite sound. They rode their luck a little bit, but sometimes you need to do that in these matches. But they also created a couple of opportunities and almost caught Gold Coast napping. So he would have asked for probably similar in the second half, not to change too much, and hope to look for those little breaks that they can get when Gold Coast do make those errors or are forced into mistakes.
Did he give himself a bit of a ticking off for missing that chance?
He probably looked in the mirror and gave himself a little bit of a yell.
Yeah. Still, they created that opportunity, and as you saw from our half-time statistics, they have the only shot on target, but in terms of the overall pattern of the play, it's been quite a bit of this. Gold Coast Knights passing the ball around, probing, teasing, trying to move Edge Hill into areas they don't want to be. Makwasi fires it in. It's a good effort and tipped over by Ward to deny the Knights the opening goal. It was Marek Mardley who rose highest, but straight at the goalkeeper, and he was able to help it on its way.
Lovely ball from wide area. Edge Hill defence probably thought he could cross from there, no problem, but it was fantastic ball. Lovely header and a good touch over.
So good early pressure from the Knights, the outside of the second half. The corner towards Yabe. Difficult one to control aerially for the Japanese defender. 3 chances in the space of the opening 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, Gold Coast will be happy with that. Edge Hill, on the other hand, it all started with a poor pass from the kickoff. It just sort of set the tone for the next 2.5 minutes.
Mentioned that Edge Hill United, 53 years of age. They have had some famous players playing for them back in the past. The likes of Frank Farina, Shane Stefanuto, Michael Thwaite. All who went on to represent Australia, of course. It's a fertile breeding ground, far north Queensland.
Yeah, throw Zenon Caravella into that as well. Another one from the region.
Steve Corica. We can keep
going. The list goes on.
They have no senior NPL club at the moment. Cairns FC having their licence taken back a couple of years ago. Really needs a pathway for the north of the Sunshine State. Here come the Gold Coast Knights again. It's a good challenge that by Jesse Casson, who's an electrician by trade, and he showed a fair bit of spark there to dispossess his opponent.
Simon. I could see you were heading down that path.
I rely on you to plug me for those things, Marco. Here's Makwasi. Walker. Partly away by Harry Isman. Funnel back through Mitch Nichols.
I think Gold Coast really created the chances near the end of the first half when Mitch Nichols really got on the ball, started to try and drive through the middle and spray passes to those wide players. Be looking for him to do the same in the second half.
No foul by Josh Demitis. They quickly turned it over again, Edge Hill. So Liam Cashmere will see that one through to his goalkeeper. Very disappointed we haven't seen his long throws yet in an attacking part of the pitch.
Still waiting. We can see he's got the distance.
Babatadze didn't quite have the trick to get past Walker, but he's got the throw. Just taken by Murray. Now a chance. It's a pretty tame effort in the end by Denitis, I think. Sort of hit it into the ground.
He did. It was great play by O'Hare. Pinned his defender inside the box. Really dangerous area for to make a challenge. Got the ball back. And again, the strike just not quite on the mark. Just didn't hit it cleanly.
Josh Denitis went to Brazil at 16 and trained with Cruzeiro. Obviously still a bit of work needed on the long-range shooter. Poked forward by Walker. He gets the return off Makwasi. The Gold Coast Knights do have options on the bench, particularly Kai Tupaldo's got 11 goals this season. Dante Mariner as well. He's the nephew of Tim Cahill. So if it's in the genes, then he should be okay. And he did score against Peninsula Power at the weekend off the bench.
I wonder how long head coach will give this starting 11 until he starts to make some changes.
Well, Max Ragg will be frustrated that the goal hasn't come yet. Edge Hill just trying to hang in there as long as they can. Walker. They've shown they are capable of pinching potentially a goal at the other end. I think we're going to have our first booking here. Challenge by the player coach, Chris O'Hare. It's not exactly what you call leading by example.
I think he just found himself in a position, couldn't really pull out, it was too late. Gave Alex King no excuse, no opportunity to not brandish the card.
O'Hare, you might remember, was part of the Cairns FC team that lost to Sydney FC in the FFA Cup, and he missed a penalty that night, or rather had it saved by Andrew Redmayne a couple of seasons back.
I'm sure he'll be happy reminding everyone of that one, Simon.
Sorry, Chris. Just doing my job. It's not a bad ball, and nodded goalwards by Panetta, but not with any great power. And again, Kevin Ward's behind it.
I think Panetta was put off by his own player there, coming back to the ball. Just seemed to take his eye off the ball and couldn't get the direction. Ended up hitting it straight into the ground, which took the pace out of it. Made it easy for Ward. Again, danger signs from those wide areas from Gold Coast.
A lot of their chances tonight have come in the air. Let's see if they can ultimately take one. Here's Makwasi. Really put his boot through that one.
He's looked lively in the second half, Makwasi.
He's looked lively all game, to be fair.
Yeah.
On the Colombian Youth International. Played against the likes of Neymar and Coutinho as a junior. 9 years in the Colombian second division. Been in Australia for quite a few years now. He has his own coaching company.
Between himself and Stollery on the other side, two main players who have caused the problems along with Mitch Nichols.
Gently by Nichols into the path of Yabe.
You can hear the Edge Hill coaching staff, stay compact, stay compact. Worked so well for them in the first half. And straight back into that block, trying to stifle the Gold Coast attack through the central areas. And to date, has done well.
He's got them very well organised, and they've turned the ball over cheaply here. It's David Tadze, gets around Yabe. But the Knights recovered, and there are just those little moments, aren't there, for Edge Hill,
There are. It's a number of occasions now where Gold Coast have been a little bit sloppy on the pass, and the quicker transition has caused problems. It's just that final decision, whether the shot or the pass, the execution, just hasn't been there yet. It gives them hope that they can get this goal.
Nice touch by Casson, and O'Hare will try and get onto this one, but Yabe nipping in ahead of him. Slung forward. And it goes off Ari Isman. Looped back through Junior Yabe. Ludwig. Yabe again. Again, Edgehill quite happy for the Knights to have the ball just over halfway, but quite often that's been the result. A cheap turnover from the Knights, a little bit sloppy.
And one problem Edgehill do have when they do win that ball is Taylor on his own, isolated up front, is really the only forward pass. They find it hard to move that ball forward.
Difficult for them to get bodies up alongside him though, isn't it, when they're doing so much work defensively. But again, a little error might just open the door. Austin Ludwig ensures that it doesn't on this occasion. Ball hits smartly in the back, and Liam Kashmir steps in.
It's always those opportunities that you think Edgehill just might nick the ball and get a breakaway. Gold Coast have snuffed it out every time so far, but sometimes it seems to be a little bit more with luck than good management.
Here's Max Brown on the charge. It's not going to be accurate enough for the run of Mardley on the right. Knights suggesting that they might have had a free kick. And again, Kevin Ward just taking his time, doing a bit of gardening in that penalty area. All to waste a few valuable seconds, allow his teammates a chance to take a breath, regroup. They've survived the best part of an hour without damage. Up in the air, Davatadze losing outs. But now it's with O'Hare. O'Hare on the turn. Goodness me, that would have been one for the ages.
Good inventiveness there from O'Hare. Down with the chest, little flick over. Would have been a spectacular effort if it had flown into the net. Nice play here, just dinks it over the head. Just can't quite get it down. Under pressure from the defenders. He has been the man who looks most likely for Edgehill.
That befits his pedigree. Mentioned he played in the professional ranks, both in England and Northern Ireland. Actually played against likes of Stuart Dallas, who's now with Leeds, and Jerry McMahon, formerly with Tottenham back in the day. Certainly knows where the goal is, although sadly for Edgehill not tonight so far. 29 in 15 matches in the local comp, with Edgehill confirmed as champions for the third year running. Almost got away from Casson. This is Oscar Rodriguez Zabalos. Losing out to Brown, but cross wires with Stollery.
A little bit scrappy at the moment. Both teams just a little bit sloppy with the ball. I think the Edgehill players really wanted Ceballos to be dribbling out of that area there. He needed to play the ball forward.
Mentioned the tiredness of the Edgehill players, which is natural, but of course Gold Coast Knights are not in the full-time ranks. They've had the travel today as well. They only flew in this morning to Cairns. Travel back tomorrow. We know Macca, having been on many planes throughout our respective careers, that can sometimes be a drag.
Yeah, especially when you're not used to it as well.
No way through for Nichols. Manages to find his range second time around. Max Brown, space, time. And deflected behind off Liam Cashmere for a corner. Kevin Ward says focus.
That was a good ball to release Brown down that right-hand side. He had all the time in the world to pick his pass. Unfortunately found an Edge Hill foot.
Hoffman with the outswinger. Yabe underneath it. And did Ward get a touch? No. Goal kick.
Great awareness of his goal there, Ward. Pulled his hand away, let it clip the top of the bar. Knew it was going over. Just a looping header from Yabe. As he ponders.
Substitution for the Gold Coast Knights. Number 15 coming on and number 14 coming off.
Well, as you heard on the public address system, Kai Tapaldo is with us. He's replaced Curtis Stollery. 11 goals this season for Kai Tapaldo, former Brisbane Roar and Newcastle Jets youth team player. Curtis Stollery had that one big chance, didn't he, in the first half, where he glanced his header just wide, but somewhat faded out of the picture a bit.
Yeah, started not too bad in the first half, created an opportunity, had a header himself, put one on a plate for McQuasi, but really hasn't been sighted too much in this second half, and it's time for some new blood.
Kai Tapaldo's in good nick. I mentioned those 11 goals this season, 7 of those in his last 9. Let's see if he can make the difference for the Knights.
Substitution for the Gold Coast Knights. Number 15, Kai Tapaldi, has come on, and number 14, Curtis Stollery, has exited the field.
See, we can see Mitch Nichols dropping in here between the two centre-backs. I don't think he needs to be there. They really want to see him higher on the ball on the pitch.
Where he can hurt teams. Here's Tapaldo. Here is Nichols in a more advanced position. McQuasi to try and slide it across, and again it's well defended. This time Ari Isman putting his body on the line for Edge Hill United.
It's one of the rare occasions that Gold Coast have actually passed their way through the middle of this Edge Hill defence. It was Mitch Nichols with the final pass.
All about the quality of the delivery of the corner. Not totally away for Edge Hill. Nichols to float it. Ryan Murray underneath it. And the final touch off David Tadze, another throw, more pressure coming. You fancy from the Knights. Panetta, who had a good chance 5 minutes into the second period. A headed effort that went wide, and he's involved in the build-up here with Nichols. Teasing cross, away by Isman. Hoffman was a bit too strong for his opponent, but won't get the throw in, which is what he demanded. He's got a fair bit to say about it as well, the Knight skipper. Been pressed into service, Roman Hoffman, largely as a central defender this season. They lost a whole clutch of centre-backs last year. Oscar Dillon, of course, went to the A-League. Ross Archibald left. Emlyn Wellsmore, Aaron Reardon. So they've had a real shortage of centre-backs, and Hoffman is more naturally a midfielder. Maybe that's why there's just the odds possibility here for Edge Hill. Chris O'Hare to go from long range with not a whole lot on alongside him. And Josh Langdon's just saying, look, we've got to be careful here.
It's another one of those moments. I think Taylor was coming up on the left of O'Hare there, and see O'Hare as he took the shot afterwards apologising, maybe could have rolled that ball. Taylor had made a good movement to his left, decided on the shot from long distance.
And Kashmir using his considerable size to outmaneuver his opponent. Another corner.
I've seen the delivery from the corners so far. I've almost exclusively found the head of a Gold Coast player. Haven't really had the temperament or the direction on their headers. Looking to get a better one here. Really put Ward under some pressure.
Roman Hoffman again to deliver. Deeper this time towards Ludwig, and he's another one who gets right underneath it.
Yeah, another looping header. Said it's found the head most times. Just the direction and the power behind them haven't been there.
By my reckoning, 6 of the chances, and there's probably been 10 or 12 in total for the Gold Coast, have come in the air, and they haven't managed to trouble Kevin Ward once.
And that's probably a testament to Edge Hill's defence as well. They haven't let them pass through the middle. They haven't been able to have a short passes to open up the defence, so they've been forced wide and crosses to be put in.
They have done terrifically well and are still very much in this contest. Nick Panetta trying to get away from Denitis, but the skipper of Edge Hill leading by example. Still got the energy to try and run after the ball, but he's been left wrong-footed by Kai Topaldo. He's got to be careful in the penalty area as well. Had a little nibble at the ankle there, didn't he, of Topaldo? It's all very tight in there. Can they find an angle, Gold Coast Knights? Not quite. Yabe just nicking it away from Chris O'Hare as they look to launch a quick counter. Nichols, Walker. And that's tired looking challenge that from Chris O'Hare, who is in the book, of course. Has to be touch careful.
Yeah, I think it was a tired touch from Chris O'Hare. A little bit of miscommunication and just left his body in.
Knights trying to up the tempo. Panetta. Oh dear. Not quite.
No, not quite. We've seen a few of those crosses go sailing over to the far corner flag tonight. But it's turning into a wave after wave of attacks for Gold Coast, and still can't find their way through this Edge Hill defence. Very resolute.
That big win at the weekend over Peninsula Power. Gold Coast Knights have got another NPL Queensland League game against Eastern Suburbs at the Gold Coast Croatian Sports Centre on Sunday. I know there's a few fans there cheering on their team tonight. Hello to all of you. On the glitter strip. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on 10 Play. I think Max Rag would enjoy it a lot more if his team could find the breakthrough that they've threatened virtually all night. Are they going to be hit by a sucker punch?
You might see one of these long throws now, Simon. You've been waiting.
Is this the moment? Here we go. Here's Big Liam. A little ripple of excitement through the grandstand. Let's hope he delivers.
Just a bit short. And now this is the danger, the counter-attack from Gold Coast.
Volley back by Liam Kashmir. Bouncing ball is awkward for Langdon. Flag was up anyway. And Josh Langdon has taken a pretty heavy whack to that left knee. Looks to be in serious discomfort.
was good bravery from Langdon to come out. Comes, wins the ball. Eyes only for the ball, both players.
I think it's the way he falls as much as anything else, isn't it? He seems to twist. And when a player stays down like that, you know they are in real pain. Oh dear, that hurts, you can tell. He's in trouble, Josh Langdon. And so too are the Gold Coast Knights in terms of their goalkeeping position, because their reserve keeper, James Claassen, was sent off playing for the under-18s at the weekend, so he's not made the trip north. So they've made a last-minute signing. Reef Murfitt, former Central Coast Mariners youth goalkeeper, a Tasmanian from Launceston, who's moved to the glitter strip to be that under-23 goalkeeper, is on the bench if Josh Langdon is unable to recover. It's a good sight that he's back on his feet at least and is testing out that injured knee. And that was a worrying moment or two for Langdon.
Yeah, it was, especially when you talk about an experienced goalkeeper on the bench. May not have had too much to do tonight, but when he has done, as they're very brave, came out, won the ball. Let's hope he can continue. Looks like he's going to walk it off.
It'll be sore tomorrow.
It will.
But it'll be a big doubt for the weekend against Eastern Suburbs. I'll tell you what, Edgehill won't mind that little break either. This gives them a chance to regroup. Again, take a breath and recalibrate. They've survived 70 minutes. Dug out well by Taylor. Ludwig, too strong for two players. Not the third, Ari Isman. Every challenge being cheered as though it's a last-minute winner. Ari Isman's got a touch of cramp, I fancy. Understandable.
Yeah. And when you look at this Edgehill team and you look at O'Hare and Taylor up top, every time they get the ball, they hold the ball in, they look to bring other people into play. You always feel that while they're still there, they have a chance.
Rachel Mitchinson, the fourth official, is telling Ari Isman, if you need treatment, roll off the pitch. Which he's
another
not
player
keen to
down
do
as well.
I saw another Edgehill player getting treatment for the same affliction. Meantime, there's a chance here. David Tadze, almost to the byline. It spoons up in the air. Still with David Tadze. Hoffman unwilling to make a challenge because it's inside the penalty area. Could be a big moment. This it's over the head of O'Hare. Taylor to ferry it back. Ryan Murray. It's a disappointing end for Edgehill. They've had just one or two of those promising situations tonight. Gold Coast haven't always known how to deal with it.
They haven't, and as I was just saying, just as the injury happened, that they always look like they have something they could make fashion an opportunity to score, and Gold Coast need to be on their toes. One errant pass could be the difference.
Launch forward by Walker. Nick Panetta giving up the chase.
I don't think that's the kind of ball he was looking for.
A little wave of apology says it all from Jaden Walker. Mitch Nichols has had an awful lot of touches tonight. Some of them very good ones, but they just haven't been able to find a way through, which is to Edgehill United's huge credit. Big launch forward off the head of Murray. Midfield slow to pick up for Edgehill. Oh, Makwasi goes down. Was there contact? Alex King says no and books Makwasi for simulation. Thoughts, Daniel?
I didn't think it was a foul at first look, but I thought he just got a nudge and just fell over with the action of the play. I didn't think he was, but I'd probably have to see it again to make a informed decision on that one, but Alex King didn't see it that way.
In his opinion, is the only one that matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance is 1,946. Thank you, FNQ football community, for your support.
Another 2,000 people in attendance at Barlow Park. And despite the lack of goals, I think they've been pretty well entertained, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been an intriguing contest. Obviously, Gold Coast controlled the game for large periods. Edge Hill, with a glimmer of a chance every few minutes, they seem to win a ball and go forward. O'Hare, Taylor, both bringing the team up to play up the pitch, creating opportunities. It's about this.
Mardley, sorry, Daniel.
Sorry, I was just going to say that this is the time in the game when you start looking at the clock. You start thinking about that extra time. The stiff legs, the lactic acid's building up, and you're thinking, right, do I have enough to keep going?
Would they have practice penalties? Would they have had enough at training, Edge Hill, to practice penalties?
Only need 5, don't you?
Yeah. That's it, to be fair to Chris O'Hare. I mean, they've been very well organised tonight, very diligent in their work. So it wouldn't surprise me if they've planned for all scenarios. Pretty sure they will have. The home fans trying to lift their team, perhaps sensing that energy levels are running on low. Here's Yabe. He's had 1 or 2 chances early himself. Walker. Brown. Back for Nichols. It's his own player. Can they get some numbers forward? They actually do this time. Edge Hill. Ryan Murray in possession. Looking for Casson, but had to immediately drop, and then the long ball forward in search of Mardley goes astray as well. I guess as we get closer to extra time, substitutions are going to be key. Only had 1 for the Gold Coast so far. Kai Tapaldo for Curtis Stollery. Edge Hill yet to make a change. They've got mainly youngsters on the pine.
Yeah, and I guess if you have a situation where you've got 7 and 8 turning up for training, you most likely are going to rely on your first 11. But some youthful exuberance thrown in there could change a few things. Some fresh legs.
Brown, Panetta. See now, it's going to be a goal kick. And again, this Edge Hill United team, this Rodriguez Zabalos with the timely intervention. Clearly very well coached by Chris O'Hare. If you want to be well coached as well, or for your kids who are looking to get into football or take it on to the next level, then visit playfootball.com.au/schools for all the best quality football programs in the country and coaching. That was a lazy lunge at the ball, and there could be a chance here for Davatadze. And credit to Junior Yabe. He had to be on his mettle there to get his body in the way.
A continuous theme, hasn't changed throughout the whole match. Gold Coast with the ball, sloppy pass every now and then. Edge Hill come and counter.
Makwasi. It's a good challenge by Isman. Had a good game. Benitez saying, give me an option. He's probably asking a little bit too much of him to get onto the end of the return. Picked up in the deep by Jaden Walker.
The only problem when you make those forward runs, Simon, is then you know you've got to go make that run back.
It's tough on tired legs. That is a foul on Makwasi, not much doubt about that one. But they've made it Edge Hill to the last 10 minutes of the regulation 90, which, to be fair, Macca, I don't think many people thought they would, probably including you and me, with this scoreline.
No, we've praised them the whole game about their defensive efforts, and it's been warranted. Been fantastically led. Captain,
you don't want to be the one now to make the mistake that loses you the game, do you?
Exactly. That goes both ways.
Yeah. O'Hare slides it out to David Tudzi on the left. Again, one down with cramp. I think it's Jesse Casson as Mardley looks for the foul and the free kick and gets it. He was busy in the early stages as well, Marek Mardley, but has not really figured too much since.
Now we can see more and more Edge Hill players stretching those legs as we go into the last 10 minutes. This is where it really starts to hurt. As I said, when you're thinking about making those forward runs and then you know you have to go back if that ball's given away.
Well, this is the pressing issue of the moment for Edge Hill, cramp.
Probably a few discussions now between the players. Do we go all out and go for that winning goal in normal time, so we don't have to do any more, expel any more energy?
The 30 minutes, yeah. It's Ryan Murray who's covered every blade of grass, being attended to by Liam Cashmere, his teammate. Job done. You can see them all in yellow, stretching out, puffing out their cheeks. It's been tough going. Chris O'Hare also down as well. And Alex King's probably saying, look, we need to get on with the game. There's too many players down with cramp at the moment.
I think Chris O'Hare actually got a knock the last time he got the ball.
Yeah, that might be a more regulation injury, you're right.
I think he just copped one on the back of his calf as he played the ball. Just an innocuous one, but sometimes they're the ones that hurt a lot.
He's had a couple of chances though, hasn't he, tonight? First half one in particular, just before the break. And then that effort just on the hour mark where he looped the ball over Mitch Nichols and hit over the top of the crossbar. More defending to do here for the team from Cairns. Roman Hoffman to deliver the latest set piece for the Gold Coast Knights. Again, Edge Hill deal with it. Oh, it's a penalty. A foot dangled out that made contact with Marek Mardley, I should say. And Alex King pointed to the penalty spot. And are Edge Hill United hearts about to be broken with less than 10 minutes to go? Here it is again. They thought they'd cleared their lines. The challenge was marginally late by Murray. Your thoughts, Daniel McBreen?
Well, my initial thoughts were that Murray got the ball, and I'm sorry, but on the replay, I think the same. I thought he might have cleared the ball, just got a little touch. He did go in quite aggressively. Alex King didn't like it. But this is heartbreaking for Edge Hill.
So Jason Makwasi, Gold Coast top scorer this season, has the chance late on in Cairns against Kevin Ward. And Ward got his feet to the ball, but it had too much power. And Jason Makwasi, the Colombian, has put the Gold Coast Knights in front against Edge Hill. It's taken a long time but finally they have the breakthrough with just 6 minutes to go.
Makwasi went straight down the middle with his penalty. Looked like Ward may have got a touch on it, but couldn't keep it out. It's taken 85 minutes to find that net. You'll see there Ward did get a touch, just couldn't keep it out. Picked aside. Heartbreaking for Edge Hill. 5 minutes from time, a penalty conceded. After all that effort in defence.
You can almost see the relief on the Knights players' faces. They thought that goal was never going to come.
A couple of Gold Coast players who went up to Ward after the penalty and looked at almost apologetically.
Mardley in particular.
Yeah.
That's the way the game goes sometimes, but it's absolutely heartbreaking for Edge Hill. Of course, they're still not out of it just yet. Just under 5 minutes to go, and they can throw numbers forward here. Ryan Murray, a teasing cross, away by Ludwig. David Tadze to dig it out, and the chance for Josh Taylor. And he's put his header wide. Another big chance.
It was a great ball in. And that man Taylor has caused problems tonight. Timed his run, just couldn't quite execute the header.
And Josh Benitez has talked himself into Alex King's notebook.
Maybe a head clash. Taylor seems to be okay. We'll see next 5 minutes. We really need to see Edge Hill come after this. They really need to get forward now, and we need to see them aggressive like they were just in that phase of play.
Yeah, as the old saying goes, may as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb. Mildly offside here. They've got to go for it. And let's be honest, whatever happens, there'll be back page news in Cairns tomorrow. This has been a terrific performance, even if it does end up in defeat. And that's by no means yet guaranteed. The Knights know they've been in a game, even though they've had the lion's share of possession and the chances. Here's Panetta. Touched by Brown, almost catching Panetta unawares. Nichols. Trying to go through the guts of the Edge Hill defence.
I don't think we'll see Ward take his time now.
No.
He needs to get that ball forward.
In a bit more of a hurry than he was. Jesse Casson looking a little tired as well. Grand final MVP award winner in the last 2 years in the local competition, Jesse Casson.
He's done a great job defensively tonight, Jesse Casson. Used his body well on a couple of crosses.
Here's Mardley as they look to seal the deal. The Knights steered to safety for now by Liam Cashmere. They're very close now, Max Ragg's team. I do believe Scott McDonald might be up in Cairns as well to see the team he's going to take charge of next season. I reckon he might have made a few notes tonight.
Yeah, look, they've controlled the game. Just haven't really had that cut and thrust, that final pass, that last delivery. That can happen when you've come up against a stubborn defence. It's very well organised in Edge Hill tonight. The work rate has been fantastic.
Launch forward towards Makwasi, held up by Isman. Plenty forwards. Tipaldo wouldn't sit for him.
Again, it's just that final pass, isn't it, Simon? Good enterprising play, get to that final ball, that final decision, just not quite executing.
Deep inside the final minute of the 90. And Edge Hill's big night looks as though it might be ending in defeat. Late changes. Seeing the introduction of Declan O'Shea, who you won't be surprised to hear has an Irish background. Just 16 years of age, still at school, as are most of the players on the bench for Edge Hill.
Number 16, Oscar Rodriguez-Zabalas, off, being replaced by number 15, Declan O'Shea.
Bigger concern now for Edge Hill is how many minutes to be added on. We are into the first minute of stoppage time. They got to win the ball first. Knights trying to run the clock down. Nichols happy to go back through Walker. Mardley. And keep it is the cry. And that's to Edge Hill's credit. But they're saying that in the 91st minute.
Well, it's been a difficult night for Gold Coast. It's taken a penalty to unlock the Edge Hill defence. They've moved that ball around. They haven't quite been able to break them down. Created a couple of chances. Possibly rode their luck in the first half. Edge Hill, who Makwasi really should have scored. You take those opportunities, and now it's a time for them to just kick that ball, wind that clock down. They know they've been in a hard battle. There's no need for them to commit bodies forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of time added on. 4 minutes of time added on.
4 minutes to be added. We've played 1.5 of those now. The Gold Coast Knights on the brink of history for their club. Never been to the round of 16, but they're almost there. Round of 16. If you're not familiar with the competition, that'll be regionalised as well due to COVID, and then as we get to the quarterfinals onwards, it becomes a truly national affair. One of the great additions to the football calendar in Australia. Only started in 2014. Here's Mardley, who won the penalty to provide the key moment for Jason Makwasi. He's around Kashmir with ease, but not Casson. Goal kick, and it might be Edge Hill's last opportunity. They've got to get the ball forward and quick.
Ward has, but half of his team are still back inside his box.
It's a good flick on, to be fair, by Jaden Peterson-Cashmere, is now operating as an auxiliary striker. Ryan Murray looks tired. And Kevin Ward must launch this one. And he finds ahead of Max Brown, though, for the Gold Coast Knights. Panetta trying to make progress. There's no foul. Edge Hill still alive here, but only just. Ryan Murray to sling in the cross. And that was probably the most tired effort of the night.
Yeah, they've run themselves into the ground, Edge Hill. It's difficult to defend for so long without the ball, and then to concede, to be able to switch and find the energy and the effort to change, to go forward.
Panetta trying to slip it through, wasn't he, for Mardley? Right idea. 20 seconds to go. Edge Hill have a free kick. Late booking for a Gold Coast player for kicking the ball away. It's going to be all on this for the team from Cairns. Kevin Ward must launch it and hope. Mardley's going to come off as Gold Coast try and run the clock down.
It really is all or nothing now. Everybody needs to get up, attack that Gold Coast box. It's going to be a last opportunity.
Got to get this right. Kevin Ward, up it goes.
Substitution for Gold Coast Knights.
Gold Coast deal with the first phase possession. Now they can race clear and maybe seal. It's 2 against 1. Young Declan O'Shea does his best. Makwasi is alongside. Tipeldo might not need him. It's all over. In fact, it is the substitute who came on for Marek Mardley, Dante Mariner, who does it again. off the bench, as he did against Peninsula Power at the weekend. The nephew of Tim Cahill shows that goal scoring does indeed run in the genes. And Gold Coast Knights are going to be in the round of 16 of the FFA Cup for the first time.
And for Edge Hill that we spoke about, it was the danger. You need to throw everyone forward, your last opportunity. That was the danger for Gold Coast to counter-attack them. And it was a great finish, a great run. And it's been a valiant effort from Edge Hill. And a hard night for Gold Coast, but they've got the job done.
And Dante Mariner, literally his first involvement in the game after replacing Marek Mardley. And it was a pretty decisive one, wasn't it?
I think, Simon, I think that's the first time I've seen the Gold Coast players smile, and it's the 96th minute.
And that is the final kick of what has been an entertaining night in Cairns. And you've got to give huge credit to Edge Hill United. They fought so bravely, so valiantly. And despite the weight of possession, a weight of opportunities for the Gold Coast Knights, they held on until the 84th minute, when Ryan Murray was adjudged to have impeded Marek Mardley. Jason McQuarrie scored the penalty, although Kevin Ward did get a touch on the effort, and then substitute Dante Mariner as Edge Hill pushed for an equaliser, racing away to seal the deal. Football's a cruel old game, but it's the Knights who make history. No cup shock in Cairns this evening. The trip back to the glitter strip will be an enjoyable one for the Gold Coast Knights as they earn a place in the last 16 of the cup for the very first time. Edge Hill United 0, Gold Coast Knights 2. Well, before we go, Daniel McBreen, let's have a look at the two goals and the incident that preceded it. And we're still not 100% convinced about the award of the penalty.
No, I'm still unsure if got the ball or not. Maybe not. Maybe Alex King had a better angle to ours, but McQuarrie with a great strike down the middle. Ward unlucky with the touch. And I think that was relief for Gold Coast. Tried to break down this Edge Hill defence. Took a penalty in 85th minute. And then it was all or nothing for Edge Hill. And then almost the last kick of the game. 2-0.
Dante Mariner coming off the bench and basically showing his teammates how to do it, because they'd huffed and puffed up until that moment and really weren't able to blow Edge Hill's house down, who gather in the huddle, led by their player coach Chris O'Hare and Michael Falquette, who sat on the bench tonight, and they can take a lot of pride in this performance tonight and take comfort in the fact that they are champions of their own competition for the third year in a row. But it is the Gold Coast Knights who are through to the last 16 of the FFA Cup for the very first time. Congratulations to them. Hope you enjoyed our coverage on 10 Play tonight. From me, Simon Hill, and Daniel McBreen in commentary, a very good evening to you.